last night, the Stanley Cup has come to an end. We're going to put a bow on this NHL season as the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Montreal Canadiens in 5 games to win their second straight Stanley Cup in back-to-back seasons. Montreal, it was a nice story. They had a great run. They surprised a lot of people, but ultimately, at the end of the day, Tampa Bay is just too talented of a hockey team. And say what you will about the whole cap situation, there really isn't much of a cap in the playoffs, if anything. And they took advantage of a situation that they were against many years ago, but they did a little malicious compliance this time. But yeah, Carey Price stood on his head. He really doesn't have anything to be ashamed for. He did what he needed to do. But again, the Tampa Bay Lightning are just that talented. Stamkos, Kucherov, Hedman, Braden Point, Andrei Vasilevsky in net. You also got Ryan McDonough, Yanni Gord, who I think is an extremely underrated hockey player. He might not have a sexy point total. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. But, regardless, you feel his presence when he's out there because he's just attacking all the time. But the Conn Smythe Trophy, Zach, you probably don't know what that means. That is the playoff MVP. Actually, come to think.
I was figuring that. I was figuring that reading your stat there that the last time it happened in 2012. That's a pretty long drought. I don't know. Does that happen that often though?
What, that a goalie wins Conn Smythe? I haven't really done the numbers in my head, but yeah. Come to think of it, I do remember. Oh, we did tell you about the Conn Smythe. When we were at Dan's house that one time. But yeah, Andrei Vasilevsky, won the Conn Smythe. He's the first goalie since Jonathan Quick with the Los Angeles Kings, winning it in 2012. The year before that was Tim Thomas of the Boston Bruins. And I don't know how frequently goalies win Conn Smythe trophies. I'll have to look at the list of winners to see how frequent that is. But interesting stat for Vasilevsky. Going back to the game they clinched the Stanley Cup final last year. He has had an NHL record with 5 straight shutouts in series clinching games.
That's honestly pretty impressive. Shutouts like that. Hockey,
Shutouts.
I feel like okay. So what's funny is that throughout the whole final Stanley Cup series, like I watched a decent amount of it. I'm trying to, I was trying to pick up on it, and yeah, I noticed that obviously the Lightning won because they just felt like the better team. Like, I don't know, I'm behind on my hockey, but you could just feel it. Like, the Canadians just couldn't score, like, as much as the Lightning. The Lightning were finishing off every game on top, and there was nothing the Canadians could really do about it. That last game was kind of, 1-0 kind of, lulls me to sleep, but it was cool seeing, the Lightning finish off the series and win the Cup.
Yeah, and they finished off the Islanders 1-0, and they finished off the Habs 1-0. Our other host, Big Red, texted me today, big Islanders fan. I gotta read it to you, because I'm not sure if he was trying to take a positive out of this or not, but let me see what he sent me. Oh yeah, the Islanders were merely the most annoying obstacle in the way of Tampa for the last 2 years. Dude, I'll never be able to watch that Game 7 ever again. I mean, I wouldn't want to watch Game 7 in which my team lost neither, so I'm not going to blame you there.
Yeah, that's not happening.
But yeah, and he goes, the Islanders were just in the way of Tampa's dynasty, but you got to admit they were the team with the biggest shot at beating them in both 2020 and 2021. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. Well, I mean... Judging by how the Canadians played the whole series,
it's very
and how the Islanders Lightning.
Islanders.
Well, the Islanders and Lightning went to Game 7, and that was a great series. I know Matt had a fantastic ride until that final game, but that's the way these series work. Game 7's always interesting, and it just felt like, after the first couple games, Lightning going up so big, like I don't know. You kind of feel like the Islanders could have took it if they were there.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that video. It's a fake video, but the the little Make a Wish thing with the football, the kid playing football. And they said like he was born with a potato for a heart. You know what I'm talking about. I
Dude.
made that video last night, so.
That was the most perfect. I saw you take a Snapchat of it and send me just like a screenshot, and I was like, I know exactly what video this is. It's pretty. It was perfect. It's exactly what happened. I mean, it's not a. I don't think it's what it's called a gentleman's sweep. A gentleman's sweep, I believe, is when one team wins it kind of out of pity, and then the other team that's clearly overmatching them is like, all right, now it's our turn. Like they just take 4 games, but like it's kind of like the Lightning just gave the Canadians like one little, a little. Here's a little hope. Here's a little hope, and then just shut them out the final game. So.
Yeah, well, gave him a little hope in Game 4. Yeah, Nikita Kucherov of the Lightning said said yesterday at his press conference after they won. I don't know how intoxicated he might have been at the time, but he basically threw shade at Montreal fans, saying they won Game 4 and they basically acted like they won the Stanley Cup. Oh boy, if that isn't rivalry fuel, I don't know what is. Because remember, Zach, assuming nothing else stupid happens, we go back to the regular divisions next year, and these two teams are usually in the division with each other, so expect some boo birds to be thrown down at Kucherov whenever he touches the puck, and he could probably say something like, "Oh no, they're saying coo."
That's what you want in sports, though. That's what
Absolutely.
you want. You want the animosity of the fan base to be behind you when you play that team and that guy steps on the ice. It's just I fucking love it. But that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool if you threw shade. And I mean, they've won back to back, so I guess realistically you kind of have the right at that point.
Absolutely. But yeah, I don't want to hear like any me personally, I don't want to hear any asterisks on like these past 2 Stanley Cups. Like, oh, COVID bubble last year. You know what? Everyone had to go through it. They had to be away from their families. That sucks. That takes a mental strain on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this year I don't want to hear anything about the cap because you know what? They're not the first team to do it. They might be over the cap the most of any other team that's won it before, but they still did what they had to do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, two in a row in any sport, I don't care what it is not easy. It's
I mean, but this is last time someone won two straight Stanley Cups in hockey was the 2016 and 2017 seasons when the Pittsburgh Penguins won. And prior to that, the last time someone won back-to-back was, if I'm not mistaken, the Detroit Red Wings in 1997 to 1998. I think that was the years. It's either 96, 97, and... No, it's 97, 98. If I'm not mistaken, the Avalanche won in 96. So. Yeah, it's a tough thing to do. Yeah, it was a while. Barry Melrose of ESPN once said, like, they'll never be a back-to-back champion again. And once again, Barry Melrose was wrong. Yeah, so I still think the Canadians do have, a lot to hang their heads up high for. Cole Caulfield showed how well he can play. Shea Weber was a very good leader. And I don't know what to say about Marc Bergevin. I feel like the pandemic in the weird division alignment kind of saved his job in this case. Well, assuming nothing goes terribly for him with his whole Chicago Blackhawks scandal. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that much information about that whole thing to make a comment on that yet. But if it's assuming it's all true, like this is not a good look for the Blackhawks. But yeah. Anyway, soon we got the NHL expansion drafts. Seattle Kraken will be taking a player from each team, except Vegas.
That's right.
Yeah. Every NHL team's got to submit a list of players that are protected And we go from there, get ready for the next year where I look forward to returning to Madison Square Garden. Who knows? Maybe I'll even take some trips to the Prudential Center or the new UBS Spank Arena out in Long Island by the Belmont. And in a couple side notes, next season, okay, you got fans in the building again. Take the stupid ads off the helmets, even though the Winnipeg Jets already signed a deal for a few years. Oh God! Please don't mean that they're here to stay. I mean, they probably are.
Dude, it's here to stay. It's totally here to stay, and you know it. It's a money. It's a Monday. You know, it's gonna stay on there. It's gonna stay. You're gonna see StubHub on them, like McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know who sponsors the NHL. Honestly.
As far as I'm concerned, only 3 ads belong on any sports team's equipment or uniforms. That's the team name, the league, and the manufacturer of that equipment. But that's just me. Call me a boomer, but whatever. Gee, I don't want to see logos on that beautiful Rangers sweater one day. You gotta draw the line somewhere. But speaking of the Rangers, congratulations to Adam Fox for winning the Norris Trophy. Only the second player in NHL history to win that award in his second season. By the way, Zach, that's the award for Best Defenseman. The only other player to do that, Bobby Orr. And believe me, that is company you want to be part of.
Bobby Orr. I know that name.
You ever see
How do I know that name?
You've probably seen a picture of him. Probably the most famous picture in hockey. Dude scores a goal and he's like diving forward. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna look at this.
It's an iconic photo. It's considered the most famous goal in NHL history. Even though I don't know what. I mean, it's the best photo in NHL history, but that goal basically won them the Stanley Cup. Okay, if it was a Game 7, I'd agree, but you know what? That literally just completed a sweep, that photo. So, yeah, I don't know if I'd go the most famous goal in NHL history, but whatever. Most famous photo, absolutely. But anyway.
Pretty neat picture.
Yeah.